is on Brazil, has to be on Brazil. It's happening in Brazil. By the way, there were lots of numbers. If you want to add just one more number, if you are looking for tickets even now for final, I mean, very unlikely that you'll get it, but if you are willing, then you'll get it for, say, $20,000 to $25,000.
20 to 25,000. Or you could find a way to get into Narendra Murkumbi's house and steal his ticket so that you can go in his place, because he's the only person we know here who has a ticket to World Cup football, right, Anuj?
And both the semi-final and the final, Mr. Murkumbi, hi, good afternoon. Of course, Mr. Murkumbi has a company in Brazil, so it's business and pleasure for Mr. Murkumbi. But, Mr. Murkumbi, do you really support Brazil, or you know, is it because it happens to be in Brazil, you have a company in Brazil now, that you are in Brazilian colours?
Brazil government forced you to support Brazil?
No, not at all.
Given your business interests in Brazil?
It's very much from the heart. I have 12,000 Brazilian colleagues in our companies in Brazil. And it's a very, very, you know, everybody is looking forward to it. The last World Cup in Brazil was in 1950. And so it's almost after 2 generations that we're having the football there. And everybody has high hopes. Brazil has to win. That's the mantra.
What's the atmosphere like in Brazil right now, and what would it be come the final?
Yeah. I think so far there has been a lot of turmoil, strikes, etc., a lot of criticism about the high expenditure. But I think now that from today the atmosphere turns to the game itself. The opening match is later today, and everybody is praying and hoping that Brazil will win. And so I think the mood will be much more positive going forward. A lot of the infrastructure projects are either delayed or they're finishing just in time for the World Cup. So there has been a lot of disruption because of that.
So similar to what we had in Commonwealth
But
Games.
this is the case with all large sporting events, right? It's really difficult for companies, whether it's Commonwealth or we've seen this happen with a variety of large sporting events across the world.
Indeed, indeed. So Mr. Murkumbi, let's talk about the game itself then. Who are your favorite players? First Brazilian players, and then we'll talk about the other players as well.
Well, I think that everybody is a big fan of Neymar now, and he's the one everybody is watching, the Brazilian forward. Thiago Silva, the captain, he's another very solid guy. He's the one who holds the team together. So these are my 2 favorites. The whole country there is rooting for, you know, the team. I must say, however, you know, just to correct you, Menaka, there's a lot of people from India going. I know at least...
I know just one. Of the 3 million ticket holders in the world, I know just one. You're sitting right here in studio with us. I'm sure
I'm expecting to have a lot of company from Mumbai and Delhi. I know at least 50 top corporate leaders who are there.
If the tickets are $25,000, then only top corporates can attend.
This is what happens when you buy at the top of the market. You have to plan and book in advance. You know, we all bought our tickets a year ago. Yeah.
A year ago?
Yes.
Is that when you started planning your trip?
Yes.
1 year ago.
Yeah, right.
While you were in the middle of that deal negotiation with Wilmar, one part of you was actually figuring out your travel plan to Brazil.
Well,
no,
I do travel quite often to Brazil.
No, for the Football World Cup is what I'm asking.
So, apart from Brazil, or let's put it this way, what would be the biggest threat to Brazil? Would it be Argentina? Would it be Germany, as a lot of people are betting their money on Germany?
Or Croatia.
Croatia.
Senthil asked me to ask you this question. What do you make of the prospects of Team Croatia? This is Senthil's question.
The zero. Yeah. That's what I would say. But coming back to your original question, I think emotionally Brazil would be shattered the most if Argentina won.
Yes.
Especially if they defeated Brazil.
Yes.
Anybody else, I mean, it's still, you know, part of the game.
It's almost like not losing to Pakistan in a Cricket World Cup.
Exactly. It's almost exactly the same emotion.
Yes.
And though if you see past track record in South America, typically South American teams have taken the cup. So I think to expect a Brazilian European team to win probably is not.
So what would be the dark horse? Uruguay or could Chile be there? I mean, what could be the dark horse for you?
Well, it could be Argentina actually.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the biggest fear.
They're
very motivated, very switched on. There's a lot of turmoil right now in that country, so this could be, it's a focus point, you know, the whole country is rooting for them.
And that's what their punchline is as well. We are not a team, we are a country. I mean, I think that's their punchline. Yeah, Argentina. Every team has a punchline.
I'm learning new things about football.
Yes.
I am. I have questions on Sugar and Wilmar. So if you're done with your football questions, I can put them.
But we had promised Mr. Murkumbi that
we're not going to talk about Sugar. Okay, fine. I'll just do it one last question. I know he said that he's sort of beefed up on football stats for this conversation.
Indeed.
So I think that's the direction this conversation should go, right?
Indeed. So you want to ask
No,
something?
I don't know any questions about this. You go ahead.
Mr. Murkumbi, the other issue in Brazil is that defense. Do you have enough confidence in the defense and in their goalkeeper, or do you think they won't really require that? Their attack is enough, and the opponent's defense should be worried.
I think the focus again is on playing their natural style, which is more attacking.
Yes.
But in the captain, we have a very solid, defense together. But typically, I think in this World Cup, at least, they will look to entertain, look to score, and look to take the game into the other half.
Okay, and who would you put your money on in terms of the Golden Boot? Who's likely to score the most goals?
Well, we are rooting for Neymar.
Okay.
Yeah, and let's see what happens. I think the crowd participation is going to be fantastic. It's going to be very, very partisan. The stadium in Rio, Maracana, is even after the modification, the renovation has almost 80,000 seats. So there are going to be a lot of Brazilians there. Very few foreigners relatively. So we are expecting a very, very strong cheer on the Brazilian side. And that's going to motivate the team a lot. Yeah.
Any chances for England?
Sorry?
Any chances for England or any other?
That's the trick question.
I think that sorry was intentional, Anuj. He's not answering your
You're not
question.
going to catch me on that one. Yeah.
Okay, so both heart and mind on Brazil right now.
Absolutely.
Okay.
No, I have a question on where the deal with Wilmar is currently.
Sure.
So, are you done with football?
Yeah, I'm done.
Are we done? Have we got football
Yes.
out of our system now?
Yes.
Okay, great. Where are we on the deal with Wilmar?
Well, we finished the preferential offer to Wilmar. That
Right.
money has come in, about 520 crores.
Okay.
We will be, we are right now going through the open offer, which should close end of the month.
Okay.
And after that, we'll file for a rights issue.
You're also participating in the rights issue, aren't
Yes,
you?
we will with both the promoters.
So when will the rights issue be done? And what do you make of the current environment in terms of sugar, both here and abroad? A quick last question on the business environment.
Well, the thing to watch is the weather. I think the Indian monsoon and generally weather in Asia is still very, very uncertain. And that will be the key trigger, not only for sugar, but other agri-commodities as well. I think the new government has got off to a flying start on the ethanol program. And that I also expect that to be a part of the new energy policy of the country.
Okay.
And we're looking for that as a very big growth market, maybe another 5,000, 6,000 crores of sales for the industry next year compared to the previous year.
Are commodity prices telling you anything about what the market largely expects in terms of the weather impact on sugar?
Well, if you see sugar futures, they are in a large carry. So October futures are trading at a very big premium to July. Because July is for prompt, current demand is not very strong. So people are factoring in some kind of premium even 3 months ahead, about, in the case of sugar, about 4%, which annualizes about, it's very high. It's about 12-13% higher prices. But the next 90 days are critical.
And the next 90 days, we'll call you while you're in Brazil enjoying the World Cup football.
I'm going only for a
With
week,
more pesky questions. Narendra Murkumbi, what a sport you are. Thank you so much for joining us in studio in your team T-shirt. And we hope you have a great World Cup. Thanks very much for being here with us on CNBC TV.